Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. The Steelers have every intention of walking out of today's game with win number 4 on the season. It's the Jets going up against the Steelers. With that, we'll send it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. They've got the call in this Week 5 matchup.
Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the New York Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. They come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest 3-game win streak. Meanwhile, for the visiting Jets, it's been all systems go in this first month. They're off to a 4-0 start.
And it's got folks believing that this is a team that's built to go all the way. You can't win the Super Bowl in September, but they're telling everyone that they're going to be there in the end.
The first quarter of the season already in the rear-view mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. They're led out by their 6'4" quarterback, the former Oklahoma Sooner, Landry Jones.
What you count on with Landry Jones is poise, presence, and accuracy throwing the football when he has to take the reins.
First carry now. This is Williams. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
2nd down following the run. They run it again with Williams. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Throwing Jones. He's got time in the pocket. And he's got the AFC leader in receiving yards last year, Antonio Brown. First down coming there on the intermediate passing play. That's been a point of emphasis, they told us in practice, using those medium routes to keep the defense off balance.
And it wasn't just them telling us. We got to watch them practice it and work on it because they've been trying to fine-tune it and get it right before this game. And I think they have to be happy with the result.
And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. So holding by the offense, and maybe now got to shift up what you want to do on the playbook.
Yeah, definitely. Change what you're doing in the playbook, but boy, the advantage shifts to the guys on defense, doesn't it? Longer yardage situations, they often become bolder.
Tight end to the right, boy. Tight end to the right. Move.
All right, here we go. Green, 39. Green.
Now Jones. It's complete to Brown, right side. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
They'll look to throw here. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. And the quarterback, he's got some big threats at wideout.
And they seem to get bigger all the time, don't they, Brandon? Every time I look out and watch a game, we're getting these bigger, more athletic, acrobatic receivers. We have some today.
They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is third down. They'll look to throw again. He's got time. They'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Sheldon Richardson in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a fourth down. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out. And he is going to need to bomb this one. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. And Boswell's kick is good. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. And, Charles, when you start talking about NFL kickers that have hit from 62 or further, it's a pretty short list, isn't it?
That it is, but how about the trust by a head coach to even let your kicker try from that range? That's really showing a lot of faith that he can get the job done.
Yeah, faith and guts. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They're led out by their quarterback in his 4th season now out of West Virginia. It's Geno Smith.
Hope accompanied this young man when he came out of West Virginia, and many thought he would be one of the top starters in the league by about this time in his career. That hasn't happened, but no one has abandoned the thought that maybe he can still get to that level.
First carry for Matt Forte. He takes this for 3 to the 29. David Bruton there to take him down. And here are the starters offensively, and one of the wideouts, Eric Decker.
Remember when he came out of school, out of Minnesota, many thought he was nothing more than a number 2 or 3 receiver? He's proven everyone wrong. He's a guy who's a high-volume catcher and a terrific player downfield.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. Now Geno. And it's brought in by Eric Decker. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. Well, the coaches mentioned they weren't as concerned about big play offense. They thought they could get some shorter, quicker stuff and be consistent. And that's kind of what they showed there.
What they saw in preparation, what they saw on film, is a defense that likes to get out fast in terms of coverage, meaning they either bail out or they give them a lot of space to throw the underneath stuff, so they decided they'd take advantage of it and worked on it hard in practice this week.
On first down, this is Forte. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. So the carry that time for Forte, a man who turned 30 last December, Charles.
And he wants to make sure we forget about that with his new team, the New York Jets. But we do know that 30 is the dreaded age for runners.
And Forte so experienced, more touches than anybody else in the NFL the last 8 years. Again they run, again it's Forte. And he'll get it down here to the 43. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
In today's NFL, you hear all the time about stretching the field and creating space in order to run plays. A toss play will help accomplish that because now you're pushing a defense to chase you all the way to the edges and to the sideline. That's a nice run, probing now early to try and get things done later.
They'll run with Forte. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
So just a lone field goal in this first quarter of play. 3-0 is our score. More from the Steel City coming up after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Head & Shoulders. Shoulders were made for greatness, not dandruff.
With Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Jets in possession as we begin quarter number 2 here. They've got a second down at 5 here to start things out. They'll try the air now with Smith. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Javon Hargrave, the big rookie from South Carolina State, in there to drop him. And that will go into the books as the first sack of his young NFL career. And the O-line will have to do a better job protecting here on third down after that sack. Throwing on third down, Smith. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Now the rookie from Sam Houston State, Lachlan Edwards, on to punt it away. Back deep for the Steelers, Antonio Brown.
Delay of game, offense. Still fourth down.
On fourth down, here's Lachlan Edwards to punt it. Back deep, Antonio Brown. He gets it away, and I think they'll smartly play keep away here from Brown. Out of bounds as he appeared to be looking for the corner. He got it. They're going to mark this at the 4-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. They begin the drive with Williams. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Couple of Jets there in on the stop.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. Because I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
They come out here in the eye. Here's the fullback. This is Roosevelt Nix. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with third and still 7 yards to go.
And that was a good collision right there. And I know this as a former defender. If you're playing linebacker, you're going through a checklist on every play on who you think's going to get the ball and where you think the ball's going to go. Rarely do you expect the fullback position to get it. And on that play he did. So you've got to steel yourself at that point because the contact is going to be strong.
Now let's go.
third down, he'll drop to throw. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
So a big roughing the passer penalty, Charles, and of course that's 15 yards.
And everyone knows how protected the quarterbacks are. You've got to make sure that when you launch at a quarterback, that you're hitting him in the right spot and in the right time.
Following the penalty, it's Williams. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44. Big runner Williams there on the stop.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
You got 4. You got 4. All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Throwing Jones. Backing up. And this is caught on the sideline. But no, they'll say out of bounds. He caught it but was not in bounds. Incomplete.
I don't know about you, but I wanted to reach out of the booth and snatch that pass myself. That thing floated forever up there. And I think that threw off the timing of the receiver. That's why he couldn't get his feet down even though he caught the ball.
You know, Charles, I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah, me too.
For you. I wanted to see you reach out and catch that.
Yeah, you've heard about my hands, huh?
Over the middle, here to Coates. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
On now the Steelers' second-year punter. This is Australian-born Jordan Berry. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Jets offense about set to take over as they head onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
On first down, Smith. And Austin Safarian-Jenkins has it. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to Heinz Field after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Larry Ridley. Larry will have highlights and analysis of this first half. I'm guessing mostly defensive highlights that we will see.
Yeah, and that's kind of cool. No touchdown scored yet so far.
Yeah, none whatsoever. Now Gino on first down. And he's got Decker left side. And he's going to be out of bounds down near the 35-yard line. And a nice pitch and catch to pick up the reception against man coverage.
Both of them read how much yardage they needed, figured what they had to do, and were able to beat the man coverage for the completion.
Marshall will be the lone receiver right. Smith on first down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Marshall, the intended receiver. And now it's second down.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Second and 10, Smith again. To Decker over the middle. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
Now a toss. This is Forte. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
And Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. On second down, Forte. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime.
The Steelers insert their nickel defense on third down.
Yeah, they add a DB. Gino now to throw. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have two remaining here before we get to halftime. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. On now is Nick Folk in the field goal unit for the Jets. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And that is no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And that one, my goodness, that was almost too easy.
Yeah, you're not got too many attempts shorter than that one. And I don't think this was blocked. That's about as bad a miss as you can have.
The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll make it a second down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
And they're 6 yards away from picking up the first here on second down. Now a handoff. Here's Williams. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
After watching that play and result, I go back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator, Brandon, before the game and said, how are you going to move the ball running it against the #1 defense? He gave us no indication, didn't tip his hand at all, so we have to see how this unfolds as this game moves along.
So we reach halftime here in the Steel City with the Steelers on top. As we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. Both the Steelers and the Jets haven't figured out yet how they're going to move the ball through the air. The defenses on both sides have kept points off the board, and it will be interesting to see if they can keep that up. All right, let's get it going. Here's the first half highlights. Steelers now later on the drive are going to come away with another sack. This one ends up as a loss of 6. Now early in the second, they're going to get to the QB once again. This will go for a loss of 7. So that'll bring our halftime report to a close. We'll go back now to Heinz Field for the start of the third quarter.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And this will be a touchback. Last year would have come out to the 20. This year they'll move it out to the 25-yard line. They start the second half with a run by Forte. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
And that's another stop for the defense, something we've seen all game long. They have been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had an answer for it.
So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's second down. Now Gino. Throwing the slant pattern here, complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 15 yards there on the catch and run.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
The pitch comes to Forte. And that right there will set him back a bit on the offensive holding penalty.
And you know who you want to pressure after a penalty like that? The guy who just committed the foul. You want to see if he's going to keep his head down or if he's going to get his head right back into the game. I'd send a blitz at him right away and see if he holds up.
Throwing now is Gino. Caught. Safarian Jenkins, right side. It's a 14-yard pickup, but it'll still be second down.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically, but a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
On second down, here's Smith. Quick throw that's complete on the inside slant. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, That's a big-time play by the defense.
They'll give it up to Forte. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Here we go with 2nd and 7. One receiver left, 2 to the right. To throw on 2nd down is Smith. A dump off to Forte. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense.
On 1st and 10, Smith. It's caught by Quincy Enunwa. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Nothing flashy there. The slant to the slot.
Oh, and the frustration for the defensive guys, because it's a quick play. And you know it's going to be a bang-bang play in terms of the throw and the catch. And then he's able to absorb the contact and complete it.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a 2nd down. They go back to the ground attack here. It's Forte. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage.
Brandon, that play typifies what we've seen from the offense all day long. They've had no success getting things going. I think for the offensive coordinator, he's got to go to that side of the play sheet that says, try something different. Try some specials, something they haven't seen all day to try and get this offense kick-started.
Smith on 3rd down. And able to find Decker. And he's able to pick up the first down before he's tackled right at the 10. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Now Gino on 1st down. That's caught at the 3. A gain of 6 there on 1st. Simple slant route, and part of a really nice hard throw by the quarterback.
Nice timing between the quarterback and the receiver. They were perfectly in sync, and he put it right on him on the inside route.
And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. They come out here in the eye. On the ground, Forte. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2. So a little extra time to ponder this 3rd and goal as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. This defense hasn't let them in yet. They'll need to stiffen here. 3rd and goal from the 2. Forte. Only a yard that time, so now a decision to be made here on 4th and goal.
I know a field goal ties it, but I'm not just tempted to go for it. I say do it. At this spot of the field, go get the touchdown.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And Folk's kick is good. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. So this hasn't exactly been a battle of one touchdown after another, but at 3-3 now here in the 4th, it's been a pretty doggone entertaining game.
Yeah, it's kind of like a pitcher's duel in baseball, don't you think? The aficionados can appreciate a tightly fought game like this.
Yeah, but the fantasy players, not so much. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
Watch 14. Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
On play action, they'll throw. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble. Well, pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Surveying the field, and this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. It goes as a gain of 8 and moves the chains. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver, because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
Watch tight end. Watch tight end. Tight right. Tight right. Hey, here we go now. Lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On 2nd down, Williams. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And this defense looks for one more stop here on 3rd after the run.
Hey. 4 down. Here we go.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he has the 1st down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45.
There's no doubt that his size is a factor, but I've seen a lot of big running backs in the league not have that kind of impact because they don't run like a big back should. Get behind their pads, as they like to say, lower center of gravity, and knock people backwards. Sometimes they run too upright and take too many hits. Not this guy. He knows how to get low, break tackles, and gain additional yardage.
Now a 10th carry. Here's Williams. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. 1st level defensive line, 2nd level linebackers, 3rd level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a 1st level run, and it was stopped by a 2nd level player.
And they'll try to squeeze in one more play here before the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Now Jones. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store. Throwing Jones. And it's caught over the middle by the tight end Green. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put it up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
On the give, this is their fullback. Now here's a timeout defensively. Defensive timeout called by the Jets. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. And this seemingly endless drive continues. They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Now the Jets are going to burn another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And the offense in that middle ground here on 3rd down. 5 yards to go. Again, it's Williams. And he goes back. Now the Jets are going to burn another timeout. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This for the lead in the final stages. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. And now here comes the Steelers defense once more. They've played a great game. This has been a great game. It's tied. They're just hoping to push this one to OT.
This has been fun, hasn't it, partner? This feels like one of those well-pitched baseball games. Low scoring, and will one play make the difference? And where's it going to come from? Right now, they're hoping that it doesn't happen, and they can just get this game to OT.
Yeah, I mentioned they're hoping to get it to OT. They'd take a turnover as well. Smith. Got an open man. It's a noon one. And he's brought down after a good gain. A good pickup there of 20 yards. And now they're in the hurry-up. And with the clock ticking under 50 seconds now, he spikes it. So just about a minute to go here, tie ball game.
As fans, we love free football. But the guys in the field don't. They're going to attack and go for the win right now.
Now Gino. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. So how about that for a momentum switch?
We're in the fourth quarter, and it's a tie game. You've got to take care of the football here. Now their opportunity to take the lead right out the window, and everything is flipped in the other direction.
Back out onto the field now. Here comes the Jet defense. They've played great football so far. Now, can they push this one to overtime? That's the question.
It's almost been a stalemate, hasn't it? And, in fact, on the scoreboard, it's exactly where we are. All even. You don't want to make that mistake now that gives up a big play. I remember doing a game a few years ago. Falcons at Steelers to start the season. It was that type of a game, and it ended on one quick sprint in overtime, and a great defensive effort was wasted at that point.
And they're hoping to avoid that here. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking to get it to Carlos Williams that time, and it'll bring up third down. It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. On third down, he'll drop to throw. Green's got it. He's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They'll look to throw here on first down. To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Let's see what the offense comes with here. 2nd and 8. Back to throw again. Oh, no, he lost the football. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations, big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Here's the Jet offense now. They head out to take over. They can still get into field goal range, partner. They got to work quickly, though.
I agree with you totally. Find a way to get the ball downfield and out of bounds. In a perfect world, they know what hash they want to get to for their kicker, and they already know the distance that he feels comfortable. That'll dictate what they do on offense.
See if they can get in his range. Following the fumble recovery, Smith. And he's got Decker, left side. And he's going to go out of bounds, taking it down inside the 25. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Now it's Smith. And this is complete. It's Marshall. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal. They're going to hurry back to the line now. Well, the entire 2015 season featured no ties in the National Football League, but we get one here in the 2016 season, don't we?
Yeah, and it's really odd because to go through the whole time and not have that happen, because teams tend to get a little more conservative at times when you get to overtime. That's why the ties often result. But as you said, in 2015, not at all. But here we are here. Have one going.
By the way, the last tie, if you're scoring with us at home, and if you are, God bless you. October 2014, the Bengals and the Panthers in Cincy, they tied 37 apiece.
Did you have that one yourself, or did you get that one from Marvin?
No, I was taking a nap. Nothing between these two teams for 4 quarters. Here we go to begin overtime. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now out come the Jets. They're set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing, because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
And it's been loud in here so far. Now Gino on first down. Banunwa's got it, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
One receiver left, 2 to the right. They'll run it now out of the gun. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That was a really nice play, be able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. On 2nd down, here's Smith. To Decker over the middle. And he's brought down. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. And that last reception puts him over 150 yards now on the game, Charles.
And now it's not just execution. It's not just performance. It's a mental aspect that's going on. Because right now, he's got the defense so much on their heels, got them looking at each other. Who's going to cover this guy, and what type of coverage can we put out there to try and slow him down?
On first down, Smith. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. 18 yards there, down to the 18, and a first down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
In the red zone this time. This is Forte. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives them a 1st and goal.
I thought guys that were over 30 weren't supposed to run the football this well in the National Football League. How about that veteran leadership? A big-time run combined with some nice blocking by his offensive line, showing that the ins and outs of being a veteran still has his place in this league. His odometer is not totally turned over yet.
They come out here in the eye. They'll try to run with Forte. And he is in for the score. And it is absolute stunned silence here as they win it on the road in overtime. As the fans exit back out through the turnstiles, not happy looks on their faces. Feel like they probably let this one slip away at home in overtime.
I would agree with that, and their unhappiness Hurts the guys at the concession stands on the way out, right? Not stopping to buy something for the kids. They just want to get home. But what a dramatic way to finish this bad boy off. I mean, this game was dramatic all the way through. That's why we got to overtime. And then to go ahead and finish it this way, the fans streaming out unhappy. But the team that came in here and won this one on the road, they sprinted to their locker room.
And speaking of buying things, dinner on you tonight, Davis.
I kind of figured that was coming.